Okay guys, let's talk free agency so far, and in case you missed it, I did a video on the MPJ Cam Johnson trade, and the Bruce Brown signing was in there too. We're still waiting on Ayton as I do this. He clears waivers on Wednesday. We're also waiting on Big Al and something to happen with Kuminga. So anyway, let's get right into it. It depends on the lineups and all that, but they're going for it, man. I mean, this team should once again be one of the best defenses in the league. And now you got KD to make shots, make everybody's life easier. Amon's going to take another jump too. We got Dyson Nequil. Reese is a good team defender. Porzingis is rim protection. I mean, if Porzingis is healthy. Or you know what, I should reword that. If Porzingis plays enough. He's going to miss games. Yeah, they should be way better. I mean, Dyson's going to be getting like deflections and all types of steals. Nil is just going to be a nightmare on the ball. I mean, Dyson will as well, but you know what I mean. And then D'Lo can back up when Kyrie does get there. I mean, D'Lo's never been exactly a speed demon, we'll say. We'll see if he can just create enough separation, get downhill enough on screen actions to kick out to Clay PJ. Although I do wonder what PJ's minutes are going to be, given Dallas's whole front court thing is different now with Cooper. It's definitely not a lot of money. It's like 2 years, 13 million, or whatever. We can find Dante, Anthony Davis, enough for entry passes or whatever. They'll run some empty side, D'Lo AD pick and rolls. Even if I didn't say this in the vid, but the point guard would not end up starting. Like Suggs, Bonchero, Paolo, Franz, Wendell is their starting five. Now they got Titus, the go-to. We need a point guard, and we want to do it on the cheap guy that NBA fans always do. Like it'll be overall probably fine. There is definitely a line with which you do want to cross with how much of your offense you give to D'Lo. And this could influence more of Cooper Flagg running the offense early on, and we do like that. I think what this comes down to is, what the hell happened to D'Lo's efficiency this past season? Okay, like, should you be concerned that his three-pointer was just way worse this past year? Or do you? Just say well off the bench with multiple guys who can also handle and draw attention. And then he can sprinkle in his pick-and-roll actions and just be really efficient with. Assist do turnover stuff off the bench. That's good stuff. The one thing I will say, I don't want to be a hypocrite, okay? I already said I think they need a point guard. They need a veteran point guard. They got one. Good stuff! Most of his career, for all of his career, he's been good from three, so that'll be okay. Okongwu was good, he's just not as big as Porzingis. Of course, KP needs to be healthy, but we of course cannot forget just the growth Jalen Johnson had this previous season. It's possible that Brook is washed, but if there's still something there, I think the Clippers, especially on defense, are the right team for him. He's going to be playing against bench lineups, backing up Zubac. There's good defenders here with Derek Jones and Chris Dunn, especially, you know, Batum is a team defender as well, to where hopefully Brook doesn't have to try to bail out defensive breakdowns. I'll say this when I end up doing my who is the most watchable team video in like 2 weeks or whenever I usually do it. The Rockets are going to be at S tier. We'll see where the three ball is at. He still has these moments of being an inside scorer. If he's still got something in there, I think he could be a good backup. And also, who the hell is the Bucks center now? First up, the Houston Rockets with Dorian Finney-Smith and Clint Capella. They did lose Levert. He's going to the Pistons, but still, they're getting good players. They're doing it without really hurting themselves long-term financially. Like KP's on an expiring, and they still got this amazing pick from the Pelicans, where either the Bucks or the Pelicans can fall apart. Good stuff from Atlanta. They get another good defender after Dylan Brooks was in the KD deal, and now they have a lot of insurance at the center position. I assume we are still going to see some of the Sengun Steven Adams lineup this year from Udoka, and then as far as Dorian Finney-Smith goes. This is the second time that Luka's buddy has left him. Hey, I was already saying with Jalen and Porzingis and his rim protection, if he's healthy, the defense is already looking better around Trey. And now you've just got an awesome on-ball defender who's going to play hard as hell, make threes, and also be a solid passer in the flow of the offense. We all know Udoka loves to have guys switch on defense whenever he can. KD, Jabari, Tari, Dorian Finney-Smith, amen. And of course, Finney-Smith being a good shooter as well. It's just icing on the cake, man. You think about lineups with these guys. You can go, of course, one big with Sengun. That's how they're going to start. We're going to see Sengun and Adams. Some could even see some small ball five. I mean, they got a million wings who could serve in that role. And then I'm assuming Finney-Smith will keep up all that Rockets physicality and tough defense. I mean, Udoka is going to love Finney-Smith. Next up, we got to go to the Hawks. Nickeil Alexander-Walker as well as Luke Kennard, but Nickeil was the big one. Like Nickeil would just sometimes have these games with the Wolves where he just pops off, not just taking wide open threes or getting wide open layups. It's like making plays, playing off of Trey, or like pushing it himself in transition, stuff like that. Now I do think they probably could still use some more ball handling. Okay, let's go to the Clippers. They got Brook, now coming off the bench. Bucks legend Brook Lopez, but more so just be part of a good bench defense.
However,
they do the lineups where he just drops back on screens, tries to protect the rim. Now let's go to D'Lo with the Mavs. Of course, they needed a point guard until Kyrie comes back. What is also alarming is his rim rate has been going down, and he was never a big rim rate guy anyway. And you're going to see some Della Cooper flag two-man game. It's not going to be as good as Kyrie, hopefully. Titus to the Magic. Well, there you go. Spent however long in that video talking about, well, they probably still need a point guard. Titus coming off the bench is where he should be. I will say the Sugsban Sharopolov-Franz offense plus a center is still going to have enough playmaking itself, because you're really not going to want to take anybody off the floor. Like you need Paolo and Franz, you're going to need Banchero shooting. You're going to need Suggs' perimeter defense. So while Titus can help, those four are going to still have enough of a free-flowing offense where hopefully the ball just doesn't die that often. This is mostly just for the last 5 minutes of a close game, that type of stuff. Banchero's movement shooting will help that. If it's not any of that, then I have no idea. As far as Levine, he will make threes, and he will switch across a few positions. He was a bit better of a defender, a little better of a playmaker. I mean, he was showing off passing skills like way back in Brooklyn, if we want to go far enough back. But he always kind of had that scoring mentality, especially because this is for the vet minimum, which means I believe they still have the taxpayer MLE, which is like $5 million. If they could get another guy who could help the defense and perhaps make a three at the same time, that'd be cool, but it's tough. They don't have a lot to work with. He's not going to wow you with athleticism or flashy plays, but he does the little things right. I don't know if he's going to play much, but he can score. His per 36 stats go crazy, and I'll save this for some Eastern Conference video I end up doing at some point. But the Celtics front court, I get it, like we're in a transition season or whatever. The hell, this front court's looking rough, man. And I don't know if Horford's coming back anyway. He can rebound, he can screen, he can make the right pass. Some teams have clearly improved, others are standing pat, and a few might have taken steps backward. But that's what makes the NBA fun, right? We'll see how all these moves play out once the games actually start. Thanks for watching, and I'll catch you in the next one. Garza can put the ball in the basket, but can he defend at the NBA level? That's the million-dollar question. We've seen some interesting moves, some head-scratchers, and some teams clearly making pushes, while others are treading water. The Rockets are building something special with their defensive additions. The Hawks are trying to build around Trey with better two-way players. The Clippers are hoping Brook Lopez has something left in the tank. With Zion's injury history and the need for frontcourt depth, Looney makes sense as a solid backup option. I think he will help the Pistons as an on-ball and off-ball player, although I forgot how rough his numbers were in the playoffs for the Cavs. We're seeing a lot of shorter deals, a lot of prove-it contracts, and teams really trying to maintain flexibility. The new CBA is definitely having an impact on how teams operate. But regular season-wise, I think he's good, because he's like 230-some pounds. And he'll make some pretty okay passes just in the flow of the offense. Just kidding. But seriously, Jerome brings some veteran presence and reliable shooting off the bench. The Magic addressed their backup point guard need without breaking the bank. The Spurs got Wemby some help. The Lakers are still figuring things out, and the Pistons are trying to add some veteran scoring. The Grizzlies needed depth in their backcourt, especially with all the injury concerns they've had recently. Jerome's not going to set the world on fire, but he's a steady hand who can run some offense when Ja needs a breather. So that's cool. We'll see with Ayton if they get him. Somebody else, who knows. Below and Franz just being really good helps that as well, of course. The question is whether he can fit into Thibs' system, and whether he's willing to play within the team concept. The Knicks need scoring depth behind their starters, and Clarkson can definitely provide that. But they also need guys who can defend, and that's never really been Clarkson's strong suit. Still, for the minimum, it's a low-risk move that could pay off if he buys into the culture. Still don't know what Al Horford's feeling right now. So now we got Zion McCollum, pretty prototypical center Derek Queen. wants the ball in his hands so he can create for himself with like real dribble moves. And now they got Looney. Sure, why not? They did get Luka Garza. We'll talk about that in a second. As far as Kornet on the Spurs, hey, just having a center who can back up Wemby for 10 to 15 minutes a game or whatever it is, it's like 2 years at about $14 million per season. How much of this is in reaction to the Malik Beasley stuff? I don't know, but they had to scramble after that. I would imagine doing a quick scan of Pistons internet. I'd say there's been like a mixed reaction, at least from what I've seen. The minutes just don't crater for you. That's all you can ask for. So okay, and Anthony Black will do some stuff too. Next up, Luke Kornet to the Spurs. The Celtics front court just got even worse. Let's get to the Lakers with LaVine. I know about all the reports about Pelinka wanting to save cap space, and Lakers fans hate him again and all this stuff. As far as all the center movements so far and them not getting anybody, I mean, it's either they've already got a center in mind. Could be Ayton, could be a trade. Lakers fans are dreaming of Kessler. Now we have Karras to the Pistons on a real deal. Look, I was skeptical on Karras being able to help the Cavs, but he toned down some of his shot attempts. Ty Jerome to the Grizzlies. What does this mean for Scottie Pippen Jr.'s legacy? Jordan Clarkson to the Knicks? So if Clarkson still has some juice as a bucket getter off the bench for them, okay? Clarkson's always been that instant offense guy coming off the bench. Kevon Looney to the Pelicans. Warriors legend Kevon Looney, gone. The Pelicans needed some veteran presence in their front court, and Looney brings championship experience from his time with the Warriors. And then as far as Luka Garza, my Celtics, I mean, he can score. The Celtics are really banking on their perimeter talent to carry them, because their big man situation is questionable at best. So that's where we stand with free agency so far. The Mavs got their point guard depth sorted out, even if D'Lo comes with some question marks. What's clear is that teams are being more cautious with their money this year, as we wait for more dominoes to fall. Ayton clearing waivers. What happens with Al Horford? The Kuminga situation. It's shaping up to be a really interesting season.